I'm so excited to be in this space. High performance computing is driving everything that we do.
The best shot to give NVIDIA a run for their money.
For years, the GPU space has recently been dominated by NVIDIA, making it the world's fastest growing manufacturer of semiconductors. And with the hype of ChatGPT, NVIDIA's revenue has now soared past its competitors, making it the new global leader of fabless chip designs.
They offer the chips, the hardware, the networking, the software to make deploying artificial intelligence extremely easy.
Right now, the momentum is clearly with NVIDIA. They can do nothing wrong. Everything they touch turns to gold.
Interestingly, NVIDIA stock shattered the roof after this hype, doubling its trillion-dollar value in less than a year.
What is going on with NVIDIA that is unique from a company like Apple or Microsoft is, as you know, it's fueling the AI infrastructure.
Yeah, so this is now the $2 trillion club. 12 zeros means NVIDIA's market cap is more than the individual GDPs of Russia, Mexico, Australia.
But then there's AMD, short for Advanced Micro Devices, another semiconductor giant that manufactures specialized chips that help power data centers for multiple AI platforms.
We're in the Tesla models S and X. We're also in many industrial applications, aerospace and defense applications, healthcare applications.
Now the company has announced its plans to release another generation of AI chips.
For those of you who are paying attention, you might see it looks very, very similar to MI300A, because basically we took 3 chiplets off and put 2 chiplets on, and we stacked more HBM3 memory.
Many claim AMD is giving NVIDIA a run for its money. And should NVIDIA be concerned about AMD? Well, stick around as we uncover how AMD plans to become the new global leader of generative AI chips. But before we do, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. In the heart of every electronic device you use, there's a chip inside of it. I mean, chips are everywhere, from smartphones to cars, smart speakers to Bluetooth-enabled dishwashers, and most importantly, servers running generative AI.
Microchips or semiconductors are incredibly important technologies. They are in things from refrigerators all the way to cars and the smartphones we use on a daily basis.
At the end, in the heart of the products that you love, that you use every day, there's a very good chance Qualcomm's at the center of it.
Look around, look at every electronic device in your house, and I would bet you money that every one of those devices has at least one Global Foundries chip.
The companies that design these core silicon technologies are some of the most important companies in the world. And one of the biggest challenges they face is that they have to make huge bets on core technologies years before they become common.
We're in a world today where chips are everywhere.
And at the center of all the most advanced computers, gaming consoles, and data centers that we know today, there are 2 types of advanced processor chips in them: the CPUs, Central Processing Unit, and GPUs, Graphics Processing Unit, are the 2 core technologies. And when it comes to the design of these advanced microprocessors, there are major companies that have dominated the space. Qualcomm in mobile devices, Intel in CPUs, Nvidia in GPUs, and interestingly, AMD is the only company in the world that designs both CPUs and GPU chips at scale. However, Nvidia's success in the manufacturing of advanced, high-end graphics processing units has pushed it to the top of its pack.
This is what hundreds of millions of gamers in the world plays on. It's a GeForce.
And despite other chip giants suffering from the implication of the US-China trade war, NVIDIA hasn't been affected because it relies on a Taiwan-based semiconductor manufacturing company called TSMC to make all of its chips, which makes it vulnerable.
China is trying to move ahead of us in manufacturing them.
The trade war took a dangerous turn and is now morphing into what many are calling a currency war.
China has become more aggressive in what they call their military-civil fusion strategy, which is essentially fancy talk for buying our sophisticated chips, which are supposedly for commercial purposes, and putting them into military equipment to advance their military.
But that's not all. NVIDIA has grown from just providing chips in the gaming space. The company also designs the GPUs used for cloud computing and AI.
We're in every cloud made by every computer company.
Now NVIDIA powers ChatGPT, a large language model capable of generating text and images with its powerful GPUs by tapping into a huge amount of data in the cloud. And it doesn't stop there. The company also provides dedicated GPUs for cryptocurrency mining and so many other useful applications of its patent core technology. Also in the AI revolution, its chips have changed what's possible with generative AI. What's more fascinating to know is that Nvidia's growth is going at such a fast pace that companies like AMD are struggling to keep up with them. And AMD, being one of Nvidia's biggest rivalries in the fabless chip design industry, is a good thing for Nvidia.
This is a computer. This is not a chip.
I love solving problems, and I believe, in engineering, you can always solve a problem. We actually have an advantage for large language models because we can run larger models directly in memory. And what that does is, for the largest models, it actually reduces the number of GPUs you need, significantly speeding up the performance, especially for inference, as well as reducing total cost of ownership.
But hold up, this doesn't mean Nvidia shouldn't be worried about AMD, because despite Nvidia taking over the majority of the chip-making industry, AMD is trailing them behind. Let me explain. AMD is also known for accelerated computing, and its chip is inside almost everything from 5G cell towers to the Perseverance Mars rover to Teslas and fast supercomputers.
We're in the Tesla models S and X. We're also in many industrial applications, aerospace and defense applications, healthcare applications.
But why is AMD such a huge competitor to Nvidia? Here's how it goes. As I said earlier, AMD is the only company in the world that designs the technology for CPUs and GPUs at scale. But amongst this market, AMD controls far less value and market share than Nvidia in GPUs. But what about CPUs? It's the same too. Over the years, Intel has dominated when it comes to manufacturing the silicon chips used for CPUs. And this has been one of AMD's biggest hurdles to overcome as a semiconductor giant.
We think in 2021, as they launch their 10-nanometer server product, as they bring more supply to market, they'll be more competitive with AMD than they have been since AMD launched their initial server product line.
Here's where it gets better. A huge chunk of the profit in chip design in the industry is being taken by Nvidia and Intel, leaving AMD with a much lower market share. And this imbalance in the market value is propelling AMD to make decisions to push the company further beyond its current capabilities. And these decisions are being led by the pioneering leader, Lisa Su, who took over as CEO at AMD in 2014.
When I started as CEO, we were probably about 8,000 people. And this year we're about 25,000, so we have a few more people than we used to. I think we are in an amazing time. I'm so excited to be in this space. High performance computing is driving everything that we do.
What's most shocking is that in 2022, AMD surpassed Intel's market cap for the first time in history.
I think AMD is beating Intel on all the metrics that matter, and unless Intel can fix its manufacturing, they will continue to do that.
Well, AMD's rivalry with semiconductor giants like Intel has held on for a very long time. AMD's success in catching up to Intel's technological advances shows the company's relentless pursuit of dominance in the semiconductor manufacturing space. In 2017, AMD's Zen line of CPUs was released, and this was the groundbreaking moment when AMD began to catch up with its competitors.
If I had to choose a product or something that was really transformational for the company, I would say our first Zen processor.
Additionally, the company has had recent success in its pursuit of becoming a global leader, which included one of the biggest acquisitions in the semiconductor industry. And this acquisition for a company named Xilinx closed for a whopping $49 billion. Now listen, one of its biggest successes is the increase in its stock price. You see, AMD's share price has more than doubled over the past year, and it reached an all-time high of $227 in 2024, which is more than 39% of its current stock price. AMD's stock has risen over 14% in 2024 and over 2,000% since 2017. Its stock price has risen beyond expectations, with analysts predicting that the stock price would rise much higher.
They have the best shot to compete with NVIDIA. Of all the other people in the race, I think AMD really does have with their new MI300 chip.
It took AMD 53 years to catch up to Intel, and it did that successfully. And now it is tailing NVIDIA to also catch up with them. AMD already makes CPUs that are much better than NVIDIA, and this is just the beginning of its transformation journey. The company also dominates the gaming processor market, designing over 83% of all gaming processors in the world. From the latest Xbox to the latest PlayStation, AMD is at the center of it. And yes, the most interesting part, AMD revealed its plans to release a cutting-edge AI chip that many say will take on NVIDIA, which are the MI325X and MI-S350.
I am super excited to show you, for the very first time, MI300X. Now, for those of you who are paying attention, you might see it looks very, very similar to MI300A, because basically we took 3 chiplets off and put 2 chiplets on, and we stacked more HBM3 memory.
So, what's AMD's grand plan? You see, these chips are estimated to be better than AMD's previous chipset, with a 30% improvement. And not just that, they are expected to perform 35 times better in the process of computing generative AI responses compared to AMD's currently available MI300 series of AI chips. Most importantly, to outmatch its biggest competitor, NVIDIA, in AI chip designs, which currently dominate the lucrative market for AI semiconductors and command about 80% of its share.
When you compare MI300X to the competition, MI300X offers 2.4 times more memory and 1.6 times more memory bandwidth.
AMD has proven that it's capable of racing to develop generative artificial intelligence programs, and now the MI300 series of AI chips by AMD is expected to be available in 2025. And since this is the first time AMD has challenged Intel's market share, there's more AMD to come up with. In order for AMD to expand its capabilities and prove that the industry rule called Moore's Law is still active, which states that the number of transistors on a chip would double roughly every 2 years, AMD has acquired more semiconductor companies and also a data optimization startup, Pensando, for $1.9 billion. Not only that, the company has also diversified its offerings from just gaming CPUs alone to a much wider variety.
If you looked at our business 5 years ago, we were probably more than 80-90% in the consumer markets and very PC-centric and gaming-centric.
Long term, it's hard to bet against a company that provides the key technology that is almost in every electronic device we use today. And having that AMD push is on course to beat sales projections with its newest announcements. Investors have seen no sign of slowing down and have only seen more incentives to invest longer term in the chip giant AMD. The company's CEO, Lisa Su, said in April of this year that the company expects AI chip sales of roughly $4 billion for 2024, which is an increase of $500 million from its prior estimate, which we are beginning to see. And results like this are what will only attract more investors to the company.
These are things that, as the technology gets better, I am absolutely sure that everyone's going to want an AI PC.
Analysts say Lisa Su of AMD is capable of catching up with NVIDIA as the chip wars heat up. But is this possible?
CEO Lisa Su, can she kind of effectively compete here, in your opinion, John? Can she keep up with Jensen Huang?
She's really been able to pull off one of the greatest turnarounds in Silicon Valley history.
We've seen chip makers now bank on the added AI capabilities to increase their growth in the market, and AMD is the perfect study for that. But what do you think? Could AMD's next-gen AI chipset be a game changer for the company? And can AMD catch up with NVIDIA? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next video.